Hello everyone, in our earlier video we have discussed about associative arrays. In this video we'll discuss another type of collection which is nested table. So let's start. A nested table in Oracle PLSQL is an unbounded collection type that stores dynamic set of elements of the same data type. So it is similar to associative array and its elements are indexed sequentially starting from 1. So let's see the differences of associative array and nested table. So in nested table, it is sequential which starts from 1, whereas associative array indexed by custom keys, they can be like string or number. A nested table can be stored in a database that is not possible in associative array. Nested table can be stored as a column in a database table. This is not also possible for associative array. A nested table must be explicitly initialized using a constructor or extend keyword. But in case of associative array, it is automatically initialized upon declaration. Now we'll see how to use the nested table within PLSQL block. So first of all, we have to declare the nested table in our declaration section. So you have to use type name, which is our nested table name, is table of, then the data type of the data that you want to store for your nested table. And this is similar to associative array. Only difference is that in associative array we have to mention index by some number or varchar2, but in this case the index is always a sequential number starting from 1. That is why we don't need to declare that. And after that uh, you have to declare your collection variable using the nested table. So these are nested table emp id, and we are declaring this collection variable. Then within the begin, I am initialize my collection variable using a constructor which is nothing but the nested table. After that, if you want to put the values within the variable, then we have to use the extend collection method. So like I want to put 3 values, so that is why I am using vmpid dot extend 3. So after that, I'm putting all the values like using the index 1 2 3 and the values I am putting here, and then using the for loop I am printing the values. This is same as associative array that we did in our last video. If you didn't watch the video, you can watch that. You can find the link in the description. Now let's run this. So here we are getting these three numbers 10 20 and 30. Now while you are initializing the collection variable using this constructor, then you can also store some values within the collection variable. Like I want to store some values like 50 40 50 and 60 while initializing the variable. So it will automatically goes into the index 1 2 and 3. Later we can, if we want to put more numbers, then we can use the extend collection method, and here we can change the index like 4 5 and 6 like that. Now if we run this, see, now we are getting 6 values 40 50 and 60, and then 10 20 and 30. Now if you want to delete some value from any index, you can also do that. Suppose I want to delete the fifth index, so I'll simply put vmpid dot delete and put the index here. So then the value in the 5 index will be deleted. That means this 20 will be deleted. Now if we run this, see, we are not getting 20, and here we have put the condition if vmpid is like exist in that particular index, then only will print. So as the value in the fifth index is not there, it will skip, and the rest of the value will be displayed. Now if you want to store the values from multiple fields like empid and emp name in the same collection variable, then how you can do that? So we'll see now. So I'll delete this entire part now, and first of all I have to declare our separate records that I will define like type. I'll put emprec, and within bracket I will define all our fields. So our first field is emp id, which will be a number, comma, our second field will be emp name, which will be our varchar2, and here we have to mention is record. So because we are defining our record type, now based on this record we have to declare our table. So I'll write type emp tab, which is emp table is table of, instead of number I'll use this type now. Okay, now our nested table type is defined, and based on this nested table I'll declare one variable which is v underscore emp tab. Now in this vemp tab I can store all the values. Like first of all we have to initialize collection variable, and that we can do while we are declaring the collection variable here only. So this is mandatory. So using this constructor we are initializing this collection variable. After that we can store the values. So first of all I'll use the extend collection method, and here I'll put 2 to store the two values for both the fields, and then we'll use the index to store these values. So for emp id I will write 101. I'll copy this, and here I'll put emp name. The second index emp id will be 102, and I'll put some emp name here. So now we can print using the for loop. So here I can write vemp tab I dot emp id and emp name, and I can put a separator. Now I'll print this. See, now we are getting our values. So we have stored two values and that we are getting as a output. Now if I want to get these values from the employee table, we can also do that. So for this we'll remove this, and I'll use select emp id comma emp name. So we want the values of these two columns, and I will use bulk collect here. Bulk collect into our this table type, this nested table. That's it. We have to use from employee table. Now if we run this, you can see we are getting the employee ID and employee name from employee table, and all the values we are getting. Now if we want to store the values of all the columns in the employee table in this collection variable, then how we can do that? So for that, here instead of emp record I'll just use employee table percent row type. That's it. This type is not required. I'll remove this, and now instead of these two columns I'll use star here. Okay, and now here we are displaying two columns only. We can display all the columns that is there in employee table. So in employee table we have salary, as well as in employee table we have manager ID. So now I'll run this. You can see we are getting employee ID, employee name, salary, and manager ID for all the rows. This is how we can work with nested table within PLSQL. One more thing is there, nested table can be used as database object. Also, nested table can be used within a column of a table. So those things we'll discuss in our upcoming video, like the part 2 video. This is only part 1 video.